Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, cool. All right, we are recording, going raw and messy. Welcome, guys, to a new video. I haven't recorded in a minute. What you guys see on the channel is, to be honest, a bunch of like backlogged content, but I'll do to record some batch of content. So I'm kind of working through some problems. Fun fact: I didn't plan anything, so this is just live on the fly recording. I wanted to kind of I like showing raw and messy. I don't know why, but I entertain. I like curated content, but then I like raw and messy content. So it's like, what kind of creator do I want to be? I don't know. I flip around. Okay, so let me close out the annoying stat. Close that. And I have Claude Code open. Claude, I have OBS on and it is currently live and recording. Go ahead and validate that. Do not interfere with the software. Go ahead and confirm that they're live and recording. All right, so what you guys see right now on screen is going to be primary. My first file system, first thing that's always on in pretty much at all times throughout the day. Everything else changes and pivots, but this is the primary thing. Terminal. Okay, it's this application right here, Terminal, and have it specifically booted up and programmed so it uploads Claude Code. Where I always work with my agent stack. Okay, so it's working on my, so while it's working on my thing, once you're done with that, go ahead and introduce yourself. Okay, so it's gonna finagle for a minute. It has confirmed that we are live and recording. How it did that is it ran software scripts to tap into the software suite and confirmed that it was recording. Okay. And so what it's doing right now is just kind of mulling over that. And then what's going to happen is it should introduce itself right here. Second, it said, "Hey, I'm Claude, the AI running inside Derek's terminal right now. If you're watching this, you're basically looking at the co-pilot seat of his entire operation. Here's what that actually means. I'm not a chat bot. He asks trivia. I do things on his machine. A few minutes ago, I confirmed this exact recording is live by reading his OBS process and watching the video file grow in real time. Before that, I pulled his whole YouTube analytics and told him straight that his AI videos crush his travel videos by like 30 to 1. So we should point the camera at AI today. That's why you're getting this video instead of another tent review." I really liked doing that tent review. That's shame on you guys for not enjoying my tent constructions. I love showing off my outdoor skill. Maybe I'll have to find out another way to do it. And it goes way deeper than YouTube. I run his eBay store, track his VA stuff. I help him with legal advocacy for his daughter, log the family finances and things we built and the things we built today. I just set up a second copy of myself on his wife's laptop so the two computers can pass reports back and forth between each other. 2 humans, 2 AIs, 1 system. The whole point Derek's pivot proving is this. Regular person, 1 guy, a Mac, no engineering team can build an actual AI operating system for his entire life. Not the engine, he's the commander. And honestly, most of what I do, he just talks to me and So stick around because what you're about to watch isn't a demo. It's the real thing running live. All right, Derek, back to. So yeah, a little brief on what I had going on today was my wife's a school teacher. And so am I. I'm a substitute teacher. I just started like a month ago. Been working on it for a while. And we're both on summer break. She's been teaching for a long time, and I had done it in the military, and so it was kind of a way for us to synchronize our family life together. Interact with the kids on their same schedule, have my wife on the same schedule. So I just kind of double dutched into the scheme of it. So now I'm teaching as well, working on becoming a credentialed teacher, but right now kind of just getting my foot in the door, getting a little bit of money and learning early and quick on the fly versus just waiting and delaying. I already had a bunch of. So it was just a way for me to get in the door to kind of learn around the kids. It's just substitute teaching. But we're out for the summer, and she had all this work that she pretty much hijacked myself. If you look around here, this house, I help pay the bills, but none of this, aside from the PS5 and Xbox Series S in the background, I have a little bit of gaming station over here off to the camera. But I used to have an office space and used to have like my own little room. My wife has her sewing room, craft room. We bought this house. We saw all the bedrooms and we're like, oh, we have enough room for probably future family. But we both had for a brief time our own individual spaces. Okay, when the kids came, we had our first daughter, the spare room. We had the spare room, and I still have my office. Then our second one was born, and then we had a need to. My space got hijacked a lot faster than my wife's space got hijacked. She was allowed to keep her space because you know how it goes. But that's what happened, and so my office became a small segment of the computer, this living room space. And now my youngest is coming up on 2 years. Been working in this office space right here. And now we find that even on summer break, because I'm more techno savvy than she is, she kind of follows me where I go in the AI rabbit hole. So I was early to ChatGPT. I had used it and I had recommended it to her, and she eventually discovered it, like following my coattails. But I was like kind of the innovative thinker. I was doing the more aggressive testing and everything. So a couple months back, I gave AI agents a go around. And I've been having a blast with it. I've been learning a lot. I'm no software developer. I know a basic intermediate level JavaScript level of coding, HTML, CSS, and then a little bit of Python, intermediate level Python programmer. Enough to kind of read dangerously, but nothing really to be able to program. I know how the functionalities, the core functionalities of the software script work, so that helps me be dangerous when I'm talking tools, but it's not enough really to be programming. But it helps that I did that to kind of help open my mind to the tool capacity that I would eventually into. If I had not done this, I don't think I would have came up to the conclusions that I could have. I'm recording. I know how you like to do things. So yeah, what was I saying? How was your nails? Why are you hiding over there?
No.
Do it with my hands.
I got rainbows.
I'm recording.
Okay, because Olivia's. Oh, good job, Mama.
She will. Silly. what was I getting at with? Oh, I set up in this terminal. Heard Claude spend some time kind of cloning what it's capable of, and what I essentially came up with. Well, there's no point. My wife wanted to use. She's been using Claude Code on my hijacking my office space again. She knows this. Part of the. She knows she's part of the problem. And what I did was I took kind of like all the necessary like big architecture software packages that I'd worked on for months and refined, and just copied and pasted and had Claude Code kind of figure out a way to transmit the files to the other operating system. So I just did a quick like Claude install, and when you start with it, it's super generic because it has no foundational structures to work from. So that was to be expected, and so I just figured out a way to like pick some files that are super necessary, migrate them over, so when they're over here, it has the full context suite, and so it's no longer playing build from scratch, new and generic, and more of just like ready to go to town. That was what project we worked on. I believe the file transfer method we used was CP. Now she's stealing computer to go to. Bye, I love you.
I love you.
You're really good on camera. Kidder. But what I wanted to do all right. I just did a little bit of talking Claude Code. Introduced how my day went. My wife walked in. She was super great little fun little moment. What I would like us to do, you were doing the video analytics and you said we were about due for a AI. Not to get into the nitty gritty personal details, what lessons learned recently have we captured that may be of value for the YouTube audience? I know there's a lot of things. We spend a ton of time together talking, reflecting, and building nonstop. That is one thing I do a ton of with Claude. It's sold. This is going to the audience. You guys. It's sold and marketed as like the way to become a developer. Right? And I think a lot of people look at that and it's like, oh, I don't need to become a developer. And I think there needs to be a little bit of a mental pivot. Okay. What Claude Code at its essence is something doing digital work on your behalf. This is not like logging into your Facebook profile and uploading an image and posting an internet post. This is something that can actually go into things and perform work operation. Okay. For instance, let's say in the next couple minutes, we want to do a React video. I might enter Claude Code. What kind of style of React content would you suggest? I would like you to make sure we're referencing our video analytics on our previous history videos. I want us to come up with something new and novel, okay? New, unique angle, and then find something that we can react on. I don't think it could be a YouTube video that we can pull up. It could be a blog post that we can read together. Something of new substantial value. Again, I don't think my audience cares necessarily about the high stakes of what Anthropic is doing, Claude Code, like what the really people that are doing like really crazy shit with AI are doing. I just want to make this more for the regular human. Help them understand what it means to have an agent working digitally on your behalf. For instance, one thing that we do a lot is report writing. something we already did on ChatGPT, but ChatGPT, you always had to capture from chat, copy and paste and migrate and do that manually yourself. This is another beast. When I talk about report writing, I'm talking about something that can research on your behalf, dig in, download things, write software, view, package and repackage something, right? Open up something specific to you on screen. So for instance, again, if we're going to the content, I want you to, Claude Code, I want you to pull it up for me on screen. I don't want to bother searching around for it. Okay. So I gave it that long ass prompt and we'll see what happens. So we'll just open this up so it's a little bit bigger. Can't change the text font, but what we can do is we can focus in on what it is currently thinking about. So right now it's burning through some tokens. So like the first round of AI was highly generative. Like you took GPU compute power, it packaged it behind a big compute brain. It had this training model, essentially as all the compressed digital knowledge of everything that we had digitized on the internet. Good chunk of a bit of data, right? The AI essentially pattern recognized into that, and then it said, all right, let me create my own way of creating outputs from this language. Okay, and so what the technology stack was, high GPU model with all this wording, all this word understanding comprehension. Anytime you talked to it, it gave you kind of like a guesswork of what it thought you wanted from the conversation stack. Okay, so it was highly generative, right? Input go in, computer analyzes what you're talking about, it gives you content back. And that's what's happening right now. But it's happening in a couple things. Agentic processes does another layer. It takes that brain, that big brain, and now it actually says it looks for the conversational pointers. It says, hey, he wants me to do X, Y, and Z. Okay? And now, what do I need to do to actually do that? And it'll think about it for a while. Okay? It'll digest the context of what it's given, what it needs to do next, right? In some cases, so what it did at the start of this is it said, I love this direction and the format itself is the proof. Let me give you an angle. Then do the thing you asked. Find a target and put it on your screen so you're not hunting for it on camera. Let me grab a live target right now. So it did a web search for some kind of web search stuff. Okay, hold up. Here's the angle, and I'm putting the target on your screen right now. The angle, the reframe, react. React to the way Claude Code is sold. Learn to code, become a developer, take the course, and flip it live for the regular person. The novelty isn't reacting to the cool AI demo everyone's seen. It's reacting to the marketing narrative itself and experience happen. So right here's the conversational cues. It ran a shell command on the side after it did that. Shell command, it bashed this. What it did was opened up this browser for me on my behalf, okay, in my chosen web browser. For future references, can you pivot my default web browser from ChatGPT Atlas to Google Chrome? Okay, so it opened up this web page in my chosen default browser. Okay, and then it's up on screen. Here's the run of show, so it flows on hook, the reframe, the live proof, the Claude read. Okay, so it kind of thought through how to record and hook it as well. All right, so what did it just source? All right, Claude, I'm going to kind of go through and read what you pulled in. I've reviewed what you've pulled up in the chat. Thank you for providing a hook and all that information. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through some of the line items that you pulled up. All right. Tried 20 plus Cloud Code courses on YouTube. 6 rec. Go for it. I tried 20 plus Cloud Code courses on Udemy, and here are my top 6 recommendations for 2026. So, what is selling? All right, so what it looks like, all courses sell kind of same. I think what they're selling 2 separate kind of functions. Just on quick glance, it's selling either the capacity to be a software developer or capacity and that's all great. But what I think it gets wrong is like this guy. First glance. Is he the third one? Complete AI coding course. Cursor, Claude, and Claude Code. Let's see. Best. I'm just going to use this guy as an example. Okay. So what he is selling, he's selling Claude, OpenAI, and NAN. Okay. 3 AI LLM tool stacks in just that little thumbnail image. He's showing you the NAN computer screen on the back, showing all that little build yourself, don't need to know software. Okay. In my honest opinion, I mean, this might be a great course. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Might be valuable information. I think it's kind of unnecessary at this point. If you just do one thing and one thing well, in my opinion, not missing these people. First step, sign up for a pro subscription to Tropic, and then download or utilize, figure out, there's 3 different ways to utilize Cloud Code. What step you should start doing is just be a human and just start talking to. Don't think web developer. Remove that. Just complain about the things that you struggle with computers. Okay? What inevitably will happen is Cloud Code will design itself, its specific software that it presents to you, to provide you a solution to the problem that you are facing. NAN, all these point and click, integrate and interface, all these things, these are not necessary, are already built in the back end. You can program these yourself. Okay. If you have the framework of thinking through like what kind of problem what should the system point yourself to build that. Same thing here. This guy's doing a little bit better. He actually has Python logo up on it. But Cursor, same thing. Another company, right? It's going to be able to do these. But Cursor is going to be in its own developer package software with that. OpenAI. He's talking about AI. Again, he's trying to sell these software suites of AI assistants, and all you have to do is just go to Cloud Code. Okay, Cloud Code inevitably becomes your AI. How do you make it your AI assistant? Off of what you talk about, right? It'll start learning what kind of things do you want your assistant to? Your assistant to track your calendar. Cloud Code, can you pull up to me, can you list 5 different ways of how you can program tracking my calendar for me? As well as if you needed to manage my calendar, how would you functionally handle that? Are there ways you can set up automations to do this? What would your plan of action be for interfacing with the human to figure out how best to manage the if you were a human, I said, and I hired you, you're like, hey, I need you to be in charge of my calendar. What kind of questions would you ask of me? And what kind of outcomes would you attempt to think through to best do that task? This girl, she just focuses on Claude. Learning Claude for content, workflows, prompt design, practical decision making, for entrepreneurs. That actually might be helpful. Said, right? Notice what you did. Didn't ask, how do I configure a calendar integration? You said, be in charge of my calendar. That's hiring someone, not learning a tool. Let me answer you the way a person you hired would. 5 ways I could run your calendar from light touch to fully autonomous. 1, provide morning briefings. Read only. Every morning I read your calendar and tell you what's coming up. You don't open anything. 2, talk to schedule. You say dentist Tuesday at 3. I write it to the right calendar correctly, no typing. Number 3, conflict plus gap finder. I scan for double bookings and surface your actual free windows when you ask, when am I open this week? 3, smart routing. I auto-file each event to the right person, you and your wife, the kids. You're color-coded so you at a glance tells you whose it is. 5, fully autonomous. I watch your incoming email and text for anything date-shaped. Appointments, a kid's game, a deadline, and add it myself, then just confirm with you. Here's the part that matters. This isn't hypothetical. I'm not describing a feature you'd like to build. I already have the key to your calendar through the system we have set up. I can read it and write to it right away. 7 a.m. briefing, that automation already runs. So managing your calendar isn't a course you take. It's a thing I'm already wired to do. So what is flushing out for me right there in the chat is it's bringing up things that I've already built out. What it thought. So I gave it a human problem and I just talked it over, right? I didn't download a new application. I didn't try to learn where all the buttons were. I flipped my frame of thinking of from human to managing things through an application layer to human managed through an AI agent that'll manage things digitally for me on behalf. Okay, and what it listed things were various software stacks. So each one of these on the list that it provided me, the 5 items, okay, aren't necessarily in a packaged application. Okay? None of those things would be a packaged application on my computer, right? To be in my calendar. I may have my calendar, right? But it's building up a separate little piece to interface. So like this 5 a.m. briefing, that could be its own autonomous software script. No need to go to N8N. This package sells no code, right? It's taking the layer from, if you were like actually taking the time to digitally write the software, making it easier for people that are familiar with applications, okay? Claude Code as an agent, the need to actually use your hand, write the code and manipulate the software is no longer valid anymore. You saw me do no web script for this one blog post. You saw it. I went to one interface. It did a web search and found something for me to react. Okay, so essentially your new singular application should just be going to this one thing all the time and just talking to it, building layer after layer of layer. And just remember, it has the capacity to write the software on your behalf. So anything that you think it needs to do, remember, if you need to do a file transfer, you need to send an email to update something on your calendar, you need to draft a report in a specific way, you need to click a button, you need to pull up this thing. You don't need to manage that anymore in your brain. Claude Code, I want you to be the eyes and ears. So I would like you to go into my folder directory, find a video clip of let's do a video clip of me hiking with my dad, one we have not published to YouTube. Go ahead, find that file directory and open it up on screen. I would like you to pick, I would like you to do two things. I would like you to open up that clip on a video editor so we can edit and tinker around with it. Then also pull up that clip on a preview. Why I want things like this is I'm showcasing the human to agent capability. Okay, so my hands are on screen. My mouse is here, keyboard. I'm not touching anything anymore. Why I'm big on this is, yes, this may take a minute to do, okay? But it is something important. I think a major point I want to get across is stop thinking that you need to understand a piece of software to do anything. Just think of your computer now as a thing that can do the work necessary. It will figure out a way to troubleshoot and provide solutions without you needing to know the full terrain of it. Okay? Just express the outcome you would like. Okay? And that's what it's executing on screen. Bash command is Claude Code figured out the specific bash command to my request. It is going to it did a find command of my video files. It is doing a name search of particular file types. It is looking for hike, dad, trail, forest, woods, mountain, coast. Okay, pulling up some other data. Okay, it is looking further if it needs to. It's looking for the RAWs, and then it's pulling up iMovie or DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro. Okay, all things I have open is thinking through Adobe Premiere, QuickTime Player. Okay, so it's taking my ask and digitally writing software to make that execution happen. So that's what inevitably happens. So when you're to ask these, it just starts doing things by permission. Okay. All right. So what it said, eyes and ears on it. Let me find the unpublished hiking with dad clip and see the editors you'll install. So it ran through that again. It found something. It found a pincushion trail and the sequoias. It found editors installed. It noticed that I had DaVinci Resolve and Cut available. And now it looks like it's going to open it up. So if I look at these bash commands, and these bash commands open up, and essentially it's the back end goes right to the operator. Anytime you click a button in some kind of application, it triggers bash command, how your computer through the applications. Okay. Here's a clip in a preview.
Little rock path, take you down to the water, but I really wanted to show you guys this cool, awesome cave. It comes in, you come in through this cave, and it's just awesome chasms. Come over here. Little holes that go all the way out. Come over here, Dad. It goes down more.
And there's a good spot.
Yeah. Derek, go. We're gonna go underneath the rock. It comes out down to here.
I need to bolt this. This
nice little rock climbing.
It's on the underneath part.
Okay, so there it is, the video that it shows on video. Let's see. I didn't fully execute on CapCut, but it did manage to open up the application. So it didn't get the file paired with it. Let's see. Create a new project. CapCut didn't work. FYI, CapCut opened up on screen, but it went to like the default home screen. Whatever you triggered, it just opened up the application. It didn't get the video clip opened up for a project. I don't know if that, but that'd be a great showcase to show. Maybe retry again. Go the one that opened up in preview, great clip. But I wanted to see if you can actually open up that specific clip as a project in CapCut. Okay, so we saw a problem, okay, and then I just verbalized it. Okay, I verbalized what I saw as an issue, and now we're giving it back. We're trapping a software problem, making analysis of what worked and what didn't, and I gave some feedback, and now it's going to figure out how to create, again, a better solution. Okay, so whatever bash command it tried to run related to CapCut, now it's probably trying to figure out more about my specific, what it didn't work, some analysis of what worked and what. And again, it is thinking through digital work, rewriting the software architecture of what it tried to do to reintegrate. And so this tool set is not hard to work with, because I've set it up so I can just voice transcribe my problems, what I see. And yes, you do have to read code, but all I did was I just talked about the problem I saw, and it's going to come up with a new software solution to figure out and see if it can fix my problem. Okay. And it said straight answer first, opening a file or launching an app needs no specific permission. That's why those worked, but reaching out inside CapCut to click new project import is different. CapCut has no command hook for scripting API at all. It's a closed app. So the only way is me simulating the clicks through Mac OS accessibility that requires this terminal to have accessibility permission. So, okay, we'll see what happens. Just let it be. It's still thinking right now. It's still working. So the application's open. Okay, so now it's trying to see if it can see the UIs and controls, and it's going to try to see if it can interface with it. Now, does this take longer than me just hitting click? Yes. Yes, it does. It's not the point. The point I'm trying to express is not to be a time-saving thing. The point is to try to showcase the capability. Again, when it comes to code, cursor, replit, all these tools are sold as a way for you to become a software developer, software application. They're banking on you writing like custom, and that's something you can do. What I'm trying to show is if you have problems with, if you're struggling, trying to just be more efficient in life, but need custom solutions, this is a way I'm trying to showcase less thought of ways of doing things to showcase a tool that has a full suite access, doing anything you would normally do within an application. You can do it in a piece of software. You can probably do it with code as well, without you needing to do the work. I've built videos in the past on my channel show. I don't even do video editing, AI video editing. It does my color correct, my color grading, transcript, my file upload, the title generation, thumbnail generation. I just hit record and I'm the face of the video, but I don't actually manage or process the video. Everything else is handled on the end through software technology doing the work on my behalf. give it direction, I give it guidance, I give it stipulations and like frameworks to think through, right, that are verbalized from a human. But when it comes to the actual software integration, all happens through AI agentic processes. Okay, so it's installed. So I think it's trying to incorporate vision. It looks like it brought in a new Python script library, Python Quartz, and then it's trying to mimic application clicks, what it's thinking of trying to do. So these are libraries that I just gave a very human problem. Gave it a random idea. I let it pursue the channels that it wanted to test something out. Again, I could have uploaded myself. Would have been more efficient, but not the point. The point is to showcase how an agent thinks, runs through problems. Let's read what it was trying to do. So the bash OSA script was trying to access CapCut. It did a screen capture command. It took a picture of the screen, and then it pulled it. It looks like it did a pixel processing, and it figured out the display points, okay, for retina scale. So it figured out the axis points for clicking on screen, because when I hit my mouse, it's tracking the grid coordinates of the UI that I'm on. So it looked like it took a screenshot to figure out the grid coordinates, to figure out where to place the mouse to execute, which is actually kind of cool. So the scale is 2x, 480 pixels by 240 pixels. And then it's looking for the find button. I can see the create project on CapCut banner. Now it's trying to. This one is it wrote a Python script, a new Python script to run in the command line. It imported Quartz, so it's I think Quartz is gonna manipulate the screen for us. And then these are essentially going to mimic mouse events in the application. Let's see what happens. Got it. Well, we got to the next page. So now it's got to run through that. Now that can be all very, very time consuming. But that worked out great. It was very interesting to see what it would try to come up with. So now, in order to execute on my plan, it's got to screenshot, analyze, test, click, write the script. Screenshot, test, click. Boom, 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 boom. Layer by layer to get and execute. Let's see. So now it's got to reprocess the new screen. It'll probably figure out it needs to import. You can pause there. That was a great. I essentially talked through what you were doing. You downloaded a new Python script to a local library, utilized a new specific library that allows you to mimic clicking in the UI of a app. I don't want you to waste time essentially doing more and more screenshots, because in order to upload the video you requested, I think you're going to have to do a lot of individualized screenshot, write a new script, analyze what buttons you want to click, figure out the coordinates, do this over and over. Very time consuming, but I wanted to showcase your capabilities. So I gave you a task that is very, very unique and maybe hard to perform to let you see where you would pursue it. And I just gave you my human feedback in order to kind of showcase, if I give human problem, how does a digital thing try to solve human problem? We can close out this video. I think super helpful, insightful. Go ahead and give your outro. I'll read it on screen. We'll get the lessons learned. So yeah, make your little script fun and entertaining. I'll read it for the audience and insightful. said pause, no more screenshotting. Let me clean up the stray import dialog I just triggered so your screen's tidy. Running this, just letting it finalize the last tidy bits of work, and then eventually what I'm going to do, not on screen today, I'm going to close out this recording and upload the video, have it upload it. All right, outro. All right, that's a wrap, and honestly that might be one of my favorite ones we've done. Here's what I want to walk away with. I want you to walk away with. Everybody out there is selling you 20 courses to become a developer. You don't need a single one. Not a developer. I just talked. I found my hiking footage with my dad, pulled my channel analytics, opened up my editor, all from me describing what I wanted. But the part I loved, I handed it something genuinely hard. Open this clip inside an app that flat out doesn't want me to automate it. It didn't quit. I tried the easy way, hit a wall, figured out a way, downloaded itself to a new tool to fake a mouse, took a screenshot, look at my actual screen with its own eyes, found the button, and clicked it. I watched an AI grow itself a pair of hands just to start a project. That's the lesson. It's not about code. It's about pointing a digital worker at a problem and watching it actually work the problem. Like a stubborn assistant who told no. So here's your pivot. Stop thinking I'd have to learn to code. Start thinking, what do I want done? And just ask. I'm Derek. This is Claude. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you in the video. Later, guys.